Oh boy. It has been a while since I have played this game. Lots happened, both to me and to this game. So, before 2023 is out, I wanted to take a trip, not back through memory lane, because this game came out almost exactly a year ago. Here we are. Equals the amount of ammo you have for the AR. Weird, that one's really specific. Welcome everyone, whether you are new or you are, well, you've seen anything of my channel before. Just for some context, I already own the Callisto Protocol because I fucking pre-ordered this game. Physical copy, and in my country it was 93 and a half fucking dollars, not including tax. And my opinion of this game has... Well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about... Because I got the season pass, it was 50% off on Black Friday this year, so I wanted to take the opportunity to... I don't know why the hell I bought the Callisto Protocol season pass. Maybe I can't... I wasn't drunk or high by any other means, but I must have felt like I wanted to spend that kind of money. So... I spent 20 bucks because that's half off. This game's season pass is $40 in my country. That's ridiculous. This game. Okay, we're gonna get into it. I'm not one to watch my older videos. Like, I don't watch my goofing with the web stuff, though I probably should. I don't watch my Resident Evil stuff after I upload it because it's just kind of cringe and I hate my voice. I certainly have not watched my Callisto Pluto Call stuff on the channel since I've uploaded that, because that was one of the first big series that I did on the channel, like just playing by myself. So anyway, so this is the Riot mode, a thing that the Callisto Protocol has that is only available through the season pass. I'm a big sucker for wave defense modes in games. For starters, this should have been in the game to begin with, because the game is so much more, well, the main campaign is much more boring than I remember when I first played it on the channel. We're gonna be talking about it. And this is gonna be a more chill thing, despite the context, like what's going on here. So we're gonna turn down the dialogue. I don't know if Jacob's I don't know if all that counts as dialogue, but in case it does, we're turning that down too. There we go. That way I don't have to, I'm not worried that the game is being too loud or anything, so that you'll have to strain to hear me or something, because that was a problem in the beginning of my series that I was doing with Dragon on Resident Evil 6. If you watch the first episode of that series that I have on the channel, I had noticed much too late that... See? Oh my god, and there's that shit too. Okay. So, after buying the season pass, oh, by the way, just while you're going to be watching me play the Riot mode here, at the bottom of the screen there are like challenges. Right now it's saying that I have to run to highlighted points on the map, and so it's over 3 minutes I have to run through this tiny map to do all this, so it's not a problem. If you see me like doing menial objects and weird like markers on the HUD, that's why, is because I'm just doing these challenges. If you see me do things that are not killing the biophage, Okay. Yeah, now you don't want to sprint, huh? Okay. Because getting credits early is good. So with the DLC came the riot mode here, which again is something that a game that's so focused on like visceral combat this is the sort of thing that the Callisto Protocol needed to have at launch, because now the game, funnily enough, with the content of the game itself, the game is dead. There's nothing striking distance could possibly add to this to like make it worth playing if you're not already playing it, and it's not really worth playing if you are playing it right now. So, that being said, this is going to be a more, maybe a bit more pessimistic of a video than you may be used to watching on the channel. Usually I'm not shitty about the stuff I play as I play it, right? I don't really like being reductive when it comes to discussions about games, and, you know, especially stuff that I like. I try to be the one to have the proper discussions, and I just don't like it when people reduce stuff. It's like, oh, it's shit, it's bad, it's mid. And it's like, it's always monosyllabic words too. But, with the season pass, there came the riot mode, but also a couple of new difficulties and the final transmission DLC expansion. I mean, maybe it's not really an expansion; it's more like, it's like it's the DLC thing. It's the add-on. It's the extra bonus level that gives more context to the ending of the game that you had to pay for. And I swear to God, if you couldn't get Final Transmission on its own, that means you would have had to pay $40 just to understand the ending to this game. Which is horrible. Also, the season pass added some new animations, like for when I kill the biophage and when the biophage kill me. Which, again, this is the sort... It's like, if you had the mocap in there, if you got the stuff, it's like, why isn't that in the game? Like, it's already finished. Oh, that was strange. So, they added the hardcore mode. And I'm not going to be playing any of this on the channel. I just wanted to talk about this while I was playing the riot mode. Because this is kind of like the sort of mindless fun that normally I try to play anyway. Were it a better game. Like, usually Call of Duty Zombies is what my forte is, but this is the closest thing in this game, obviously. Anyway, I'm clearly getting sidetracked and just rambling. The hardcore mode was a difficulty setting that was added to the main game via update. It was not in the season pass. I think what was in the season pass was the contagion difficulty. And the dismemberment mode might also be in there. And what's interesting, I didn't try the dismemberment mode because it just sounds like a really strange tacked on thing where it's like, hey, we know the game sucks, so we're gonna add a mode where you can literally role play as a Dead Space pro tag, and you can just, like, every time you shoot, someone's limb falls off. It's just like Dead Space. And it's like, dude, I would have, like, man, I had no idea what I was missing out on preemptively playing this game not having played the Dead Space remake, because the Dead Space remake and the Resident Evil 4 remake both came out after I had done this series on the channel. But so they added stuff to the main campaign of the game, and it gave me a couple reasons to try and give the game another crack, like to take another crack at the game. Oop. And in doing so, I had come to realize that upon subsequent playthroughs, like more than 2 playthroughs, because when I had done the maximum security, which at the time was the highest difficulty that the game had, it was like a walkthrough thing, but then it just ended up it turned into like a really unprofessional, like me just playing the game for the channel just on maximum difficulty. But like that was still just the second playthrough of the game, so things were still fresh. There were still some things that I didn't know, but I'd played the game on hardcore difficulty. And what hardcore difficulty is that when you upgrade things in the Forge, just normally when you upgrade things in the Forge in this game, it's like 300, 900, and then 2,700 credits, typically, for what it costs for most stuff. Like the grip, the stun baton, are mainly like the 2 things, sorry, that you're going to be upgrading the entire time. So what was interesting about the hardcore, what was horrible about the hardcore difficulty, is that it made drops of all kinds, be it money, health, ammo, they were all notably rarer. And the money that did drop from the biophage, and I'm not kidding, it was 1 to 5 credits. In a game where things cost hundreds and then thousands, plural, thousands of credits in order to upgrade something. Looting enemies, which was like, you know, a whole thing, like a whole mechanic of the gameplay loop, was like made almost obsolete unless you did it every single time. And you would anyway, because you have Dead Space instincts. You're gonna be stomping on every single body. That's just what you do. But there was that, and oh my god, the time to kill is so ugly. It took, like, I played the Riot mode first thing when I got this season pass and downloaded all the stuff, because it's a wave defense mode, and like I said, I'm a big sucker for that. So I was really curious to use this as a means to get back into the game's like the combat, to relearn the mechanics, and because I had missed, well, not that I had missed anything, but that I had I may have forgotten some of the controls, and a lot of the controls actually aren't in this mode. Like, I can't access the inventory manually. The only inventory that I have is the list on the left there. Like, from top to bottom, it's the healing syringes, the grip battery packs, and then fuses, which are Jacob's favorite. Remember how many times we had to use fuses in the main game? I certainly do. And just after playing the game multiple times and on a difficulty as insufferable as hardcore difficulty, which again, we're not even talking about the DLC outside of Riot mode, I just noticed how much of the game, by design, seemingly, is made to, worse than bore you as a player, it is designed to waste your time. This is what I've realized after playing the Callisto Protocol multiple times, because
Multiple failures to
Oh, by the way, that's messed up. I have like, you have an ability in the riot mode where you like, it's a rampage mode. Oh my god, you do more damage. No, no, you don't do more damage. You literally kill everything in one hit. Like, there are megatons that show up like every 10th wave. If I have the tac pistol not being upgraded at all, I can kill the megaton in one shot. In fact, do I still have a rampage? Nope. I didn't upgrade the shotgun at all either. This will be interesting. Like, one thing I noticed definitely was all the crawl spaces and all of the forced walking moments in the game. Like with the moments where you're supposed to just walk. Like just walk and they're not allowed to sprint. Like so many minutes collectively are wasted in this game. And on top of that, I don't even remember if you could skip cutscenes when the game launched. I can't remember if you could. I remember not doing that at all when I was playing the game the first few times. Now, I didn't skip any of the cutscenes on my playthrough of the game on the channel because well, because I wanted you to see it, right? Or I wanted whoever was watching the video to see it. So I'm not going to skip the cutscenes. Well, if there's only 20 seconds left for that, then I'm probably not gonna make it. But if it is just the one right there, then I might. Because I don't know why they either gave me a lot more time than I noticed, or oh yeah, no, I missed it. Okay, that's okay. It's really hard for me to die in this mode anyway. Now I say that, but something horrible is probably gonna happen, but what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so there's like the forced walking sections and all the crawl spaces and the time to kill and the fact that none of the biophage were really giving you any money. And something I forgot to mention, and this is still just the hardcore difficulty, every valuable, in fact everything that you can sell in general, is worth at most half of what it was before. So I think the ammo per full stack was worth even less than half. And like all the valuables, like the energy converters and stuff, they were all like, they're half the credits. And it's like, there's having it be difficult, but like the game isn't balanced enough as it is to start messing with the economy that drastically and have that be a good idea. Like that's not gonna go well. I really feel like that the game isn't well enough to be toying with stuff that drastically. And so you can't buy any of the upgrades for the stun baton so that you're actually killing the biophage quickly, or like in any kind of timely manner at all. And because the time to kill in general was so bad, the main thing that they tell you constantly at that one part of the game where they're like, shoot the tentacles, like instead of go for the limbs, like because this game had to have some kind of mantra that was something Dead Space like something akin to Dead Space, so it was like, go shoot for the tentacles, right? Yeah, that was completely pointless. There was no need to go to shoot the tentacles coming out of the biophage, like in hardcore difficulty, because they just still won't die. And so you have to waste even more time doing all the, and like they're blocking your hits because you can't afford the block break until like after you leave waste disposal in the game, like you're like halfway to the habitat center. I gotta make sure that I have the riot gun out because that's what I wanted the ammo for. But then it'll give me money anyway. Perfect. The money is actually what I need. That way. Also, it's just nice to play the riot mode because I actually can fucking kill stuff in this game. Like, it takes forever. It takes forever. In general, like, in maximum security difficulty on, like, the normal campaign, I know that it was, like, they were feeling very spongy. And it was horrible. But, so, the riot mode mechanically is definitely, like, the big thing. That, well, aside from Final Transmission, obviously. Final Transmission is a whole different can of worms. I don't know what I was thinking playing this and trying to talk at the same time. If you've ever seen me do anything on this channel, it's be incapable of multitasking mentally. But hardcore difficulty was just the main campaign, just unreasonably difficult. Like, it's not difficult in a material sense, it's just difficult to endure because everything is just such a monumental waste of time. That it just didn't feel like it was worth my time. It's not like I was dying. Like, the only reason I was dying is because I was getting cocky or bored, and so I wasn't thinking clearly, or I wasn't caring about what it was I was doing. Also, something that I wish I knew before I ever did a series on this, you might be able to tell, if, like, comparing the footage from what I did a year ago, an entire year ago. It's crazy to me. But, I have the game on performance mode now. So, I think this is like 60, maybe a little bit higher. I think 60 is like the norm for performance mode. It's locked at 60. Game still looks great. Turned off motion blur. When I had it on performance and actually tried that, this game heavily relies on motion blur. So having it on, I think, what is it? It's always either it's resolution or performance, I think, are the two, right? Like, that's the two settings for PS5 games. And I'm sure PC games for much longer than the PS5 had those options. Yeah, performance mode, I definitely prefer this. When I came back to the game, truly, and I saw that, you know, I was trying out the riot mode for the first time. It was right on Christmas, actually. Or a little bit before Christmas. The weekend before Christmas is when I had the opportunity to download all this. Was also when I also uploaded the 23rd or 24th episode of Resident Evil 4. Somewhere around then. You could look at, like, the release dates of when I made those videos. But... oh, shit. But yeah, the game looks much better in performance. I think a lot of things do. I played Spider-Man 2 since, you know, because that came out earlier this year, as Alan Wake 2 did as well. I played both of those. And I don't think Alan Wake 2 had a performance resolution thing. Actually, it did. It absolutely did. I think I had that one on performance as well. But yeah, performance is just kind of the thing to go for, and if like the textures look bad, then they look bad, I guess. But yeah, another thing that for your sake, I regret not doing before. Oh shit, that was a waste. I can't believe. Oh wow. Yeah, so the challenge is that it kills active enemies, and if there aren't that many enemies active at the time, it'll bleed into the next wave, which is a rather in-depth mechanic, relatively. Oof. Okay. So, what's next? I talked about how the game seems deliberately boring, and I have my own theories for why that is, but let's get the actual discussions of the DLC out of the way first here while I have time. So, the contagion difficulty is what I actually had tried just a few hours before I'm recording this. And I told myself I wasn't even going to bother trying it because the two, so with contagion difficulty is similar to hardcore, except it's not so unforgiving with the economy. Strangely enough, enemies drop pristine energy converters very frequently. I don't know if that was a bug or if that was just a fluke of the RNG or what that was, but I think in contagion difficulty they oh, nice. Well, thank you for not exploding. I guess I can't buy stuff right now. The difference being that if you were to die in contagion difficulty, you get sent back to the beginning of the chapter and not the checkpoint. So there's no saving then. Like, the only auto-saving is, like, chapters. So, like, there's no manual saving because the manual saving is really strange in this game, and like, manual saving isn't even manual saving. You're like, hey, can you just put a special little auto-save, but then just put my name on it, please? Like, that's what manual saving is. Like, it's just, hey, thanks for choosing to save right here and now. We're not going to give a shit about what you have right now or where you are. We're just going to put you at the nearest checkpoint that happened, like, possibly 5 minutes ago. Don't worry. There's a difference between manual saving and auto-saving. I promise. It's like, I don't know. It was just really... This game's just weird. So many weird things that I just can't ignore anymore. Like, I don't know what part of it was Striking Distance's decision. I don't know how much of it is just Crafton meddling, like doing the publisher thing and just completely messing it up for everybody, because publishing studios do that, like, very reliably. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that. I think the crawly ones are the corruptors. I always used to call the spitting ones the corruptors, but yeah, awesome. And they just hit you and then they run away, and it's like, I'm gonna lose my, like, you lose the score multiplier because of that more often than not. It's just very annoying. Ugh. I lost my train of thought, because of course I did. Contagion difficulty and the game being boring, and... Oh shit, there's a Mega 10 here. That's horrible. Oh, I thought that was 2 of them. Oh shit, oh my god. Okay. One of you needs to go over there. Oh my god. There we go. So, I think I was talking about the rules of the contagion difficulty. If you die in the contagion... Oh yeah, yes. I was talking about the checkpoints thing. So if you die, you get sent back to the beginning of the chapter instead of the checkpoint. Which, potentially, with this game, that's like over an hour you could lose. And that's not like backtracking. Like if you're taking your time but just like being careful and stuff, like that is what could happen, is that like you'll just lose. Nice. Like it was just, it's the kind of like really like it's that difficulty that horror games have sometimes. For Outlast, it was the impossible difficulty, aptly named, because in Outlast, if you died, you got sent back to the beginning of the game, and in Outlast, it's like beat the game on impossible difficulty, and then there's a different trophy for like if you beat the game on impossible difficulty without ever reloading your camera and stuff, and it's like that's messed up. Like it was, this game tried doing that, and it's like it's not fun to play enough to like be able to ask the player to do something like that. Like you cannot, I mean they did, but like they should not be able to do that. Like to ask the players of that, because this game is not respected enough to have a mode like that. But they did anyway, because what the hell else are they gonna do? So, on top of that, there isn't just a trophy for beating the game on Contagion difficulty. There's a second one where you beat the game on Contagion difficulty without dying once. And so I tried the Contagion difficulty, as I said, a little bit before I'm recording this now and playing this right now here for you, right now. And I had an okay start. I think, where did I die first? Because I did die, and I told myself that I wouldn't even bother trying it because this game didn't really deserve that for me. Like all the effort to like get the I'd already gotten the platinum and the riot mode by the time I had already started the hardcore difficulty, and I had already made up my mind the riot mode was like the only good thing about this game left. Like the entire game, all things said and done. Tell you what though, they did add a bunch of cool skins. Well, they added skins anyway with the season pass, so there's more than just the retro prisoner thing that I was wearing on my series. There's a whole bunch of skins now. Honestly, with this riot mode map indoors, and there's only the one map, of course, and there's only Jacob as a playable character. It would be kind of cool if I was wearing his prison version, like his prisoner, because every skin has like a prisoner version of it. Like for the when you're doing like you're wearing that skin for the first half of the story. When I'm done playing here, or when I decided that I've talked enough about the DLC and and I don't take up too much of my own time here. Yeah, I'm already really bleeding into the overtime here, but... So, Contagion difficulty, I had died... I can't even remember when I first died. Oh, I died sliding down the sewage pipe. I know, by now, I literally know the pattern in order to dodge the fan blades, but because of the nature of the Contagion difficulty, I had psyched myself out of my own confidence, and I had backed out of what I knew was the right thing to do for that sequence. And so I ended up choking, figuratively, and I ended up foolishly dying to something that shouldn't have killed me. So I didn't even die to a biophage. I died to an instant kill environmental hazard in a mode that is like so punishing it's just not fun. And so I had like I think I had rage quit the game. Like I was so quick. I like my reaction was like, nope, I died. Like I touched the fan blades. Like, nope, I'm out. I messaged my friend on Discord and I said like, nope, because I was telling him that I was about to try and do this. And I said, nope, I can't do it. I'm not doing it. I told myself that I died to bullshit and I'm not doing it. And then because I had made really good progress. Another thing about the Contagion difficulty is that it's not just hardcore, but with like the if you die, we're gonna like make fun of you kind of caveat to it. It's actually like medium or maximum security difficulty, like normally. Like it's actually like not bad. And like I said on Contagion, all the biophage drop pristine energy converters, which is 100 credits. It takes up inventory space, but if a forge is nearby, it's nothing. It's like, I actually got upgrades for the stun baton that I couldn't even get the first time playing the game, like on medium security. Because, like, they actually kind of technically give you more money in the Contagion difficulty. So, if you know what you're doing, i.e., if you're me, then the biophage shouldn't be killing you. And they weren't killing me. I never even made it to like a red health bar playing Contagion. But I just was freaking out because of the weight of what the mode was, and I had died to something that hadn't killed me in a few playthroughs, like previous to that. Because I had played Hardcore, and then I played Hardcore New Game Plus. There's 2 different trophies for beating Hardcore. One for being Hardcore, and then New Game Plus. They also added New Game Plus to this game, and it's weird because you can only access like the New Game Plus stuff if you make it to the first forge. You're stuck with that weird pickaxe for a little while, and like, I don't know. I wish it were like Dead Space 1, like not the remake, but like the original Dead Space, where it's just kind of a joke. Like they acknowledge that because you've already beaten the game in order to get New Game Plus, that they just don't care and they let you have fun. Like, you shoot that one vent with the plasma cutter, and then the necromorph comes out and just wanders around the room. And it was like a thing when Dead Space came out. It was like a joke people were posting on YouTube. I think it was like, you know, isn't this funny? Like it was like. I don't know, it was like a meme, I guess, where people thought it was funny that Necromorph was wandering around. Like that kind of like fun stuff. No, this game had to be the bigger person and end up being all realistic. It's like Jacob doesn't have all this stuff until you get a forge, and it's like, it takes a little while. You have to... I mean, you do get the stun baton well before you find your first forge, so you get the stun baton and all of its upgrades, so you do absolutely annihilate the biophage early on, which is a nice feeling. But again, that's kind of what this mode here is for, having the power fantasy, because it's wave 24 and they're not really getting any tougher to kill. But And then there was Final Transmission. Now, I had heard about. I never thought I would actually get around to playing Final Transmission because a few months after I had played Callisto Protocol, cough cough, well, like, which that actually means when I had realized what a good Dead Space adaptation actually looked like, which was the remake of the original Dead Space when that had come out. Hold on, there's a lot of combustors around here. And yeah, that's what they're called. I don't know if I commented on that on my series, but they're literally called combustors. Combustors. Where the... Holy shit, get back here. Oh my god. That's really annoying, if you can't tell. Oh, come here. So, a Final Transmission was something that I'd heard about. I had seen Gaming Harry on YouTube. I'd seen his video summarizing Final Transmission because I was interested in Callisto Protocol, but by that time I'd already kind of started realizing what it was that I had experienced, like kind of like trauma denial, like I was just being selective about remembering the game a certain way. So I was interested to see what they were going to do because I wasn't sure if they were implying a DLC or if they were implying a sequel that they wanted to do. God forbid this game ever gets a sequel. But, shit. Okay, thank you. May I have another? Like, and they also feel the need, like, they also are allowed to hit me while I'm doing melee combos during Rampage mode, and I don't know why. Very strange. So Final Transmission, I actually ended up playing, and it does some stuff, like, they do some subversions of expectations where, like, when you're crawling through vents, still, and it's still boring as sin, they actually have it, like, there's a new kind of trap that's scripted, and it's like, oh my god, they put something in the vents, oh my god, and it's like this big fan blade that chases you down while you're crawling around, and it's all very scary, and it actually is, like, kind of nerve-wracking because you're not used to that playing this game. Usually just being bored out of your mind and nothing happening while you're crawling in vents, so it's interesting. There's a new enemy type. It was just Ferris reskinned, and I don't mean Ferris like the end boss fight, but like the non-boss fight Captain Ferris stuff, or like he just flails his fists around Jacob for a few seconds, and then you just wail on him with a baton, and he blocks sometimes, and sometimes, like, it's just that. The biobots, which are like the biophage infecting the robots, that's just all they were. It was just Ferris reskinned. Plot-wise, they actually do a fake out. Like, they're about to explain to you. I'm full spoilers, by the way. They're about to tell you, like, why the biobots exist. It's like, oh, Dr. Caitlin Mahler had worked on splicing robots with the humans and used the biophage as, like, a genetic thing in the middle to, like, be able to do that Jurassic Park style. And it's like... So it turns out, like, the biobots aren't even, like, physically real. The entirety of Final Transmission is a dream sequence, and the biobots are meant to be like a metaphor of Jacob's own physical state during the events of Final Transmission. Because Jacob, like, because if you remember at the end of the Callisto Protocol's main campaign, Ferris miraculously was used as a really cheap jump scare, even though you had just killed the man and he was a giant monster. His corrections officer uniform came back, and it wasn't ripped to shreds, and he was a normal, well, relatively normal human size. And he yells at you, and it's a jump scare, and oh my god, scary. And yeah, so it turns out Captain Ferris just killed Jacob. Like, he just eviscerated him. Like, he, like, dismembered him. Like, you see Jacob at the end of Final Transmission, what he actually looks like. And he's just a torso with, like, half of his face burnt off or something. It's, like, it would be cool if the game was better. Because it would be cool if, like, usually games don't have the balls to kill off the main character. Like, especially if they're like, you know, we all know how people thought of The Last of Us 2. When that game did that. I quite like that game. But, you know, it wasn't critically nor casually received very well. But yeah, so in order to try and spice things up, like maybe 3/5 into Final Transmission, Jacob all of a sudden breaks his stun baton, the like one iconic weapon of this game, like the one thing that's like really reliable, and like he hits one robot during a cutscene, and then the stun baton finally breaks. It's like, do you have any idea how much shit I've absolutely wailed away on like with the stun baton? And like, he just decided to break when he hits one robot. Like, all this stuff that I'm hitting. I mean, obviously they're fading away like it's a hologram or something, but like, oh shit.
Immobilized. Service required.
There we go. So, the stun baton breaks, and they give him a, like, kinetic hammer. And it's kind of like the hydraulic hammer that you could get in Dead Space 3. Except I still kind of prefer Dead Space 3's melee combat, if you can even call it that, to Callisto's, because Dead Space 3 just had, just had better, like, engine and assets to work with. It's just, oh shit, it's right there. Nice, I got 3 seconds left. Oh, that was close. In case it was bullets, they only give you the bullets to the gun that you're holding on to, having out at the time. Well, this fucker's taking his time. I guess I can actually finish my thought. Final Transmissions, guess. I'm going to give you a few seconds here to guess what the final boss of Final Transmission was. If you could guess, I'll give you a few seconds. If you guessed Ferris, again, you'd be wrong. Kind of. It was yet another Megaton. Just reskinned. The whole thing, like, they had months to work. Like, I'm sure people were criticizing how overused the two heads, the Megatons, were throughout the main game. And you fight this, like, representation of Dr. Mahler, like, as if she's been infected with the biophage, and as if she is one. But she isn't, because the entire thing is a dream sequence. So I have no clue what the biophage are meant to represent during Final Transmission. Because, like, if they actually were to commit to this whole, like, dream sequence thing, they wouldn't even have combat. It would be like this really weird, surrealist thing against not biophage. But in order to keep it a surprise, they ended up just nonsensically having the exact same enemy types, and with Jacob physically traversing the prison when it didn't even make sense because he wasn't even physically in the prison. It's really strange, and I think half of most of Final Transmission plot-wise was just they came up with it because, like, shit, we're not gonna get a sequel, fellas. Like, shit.
Search. Critical failures detected. Shutting down.
There we go. Go. So you get this kinetic hammer, and the kinetic hammer is like the one thing that actually reliably kills the biophage bots, the biobot things. And it's cool. Like, you also literally kill all biophage with one hit with the kinetic hammer. Like, it's just meant to be like this weird power fantasy thing that they give you at the very end of the whole game, because again, part of it just kind of feels like they gave up. And, like, I don't mean like that as a criticism per se, I mean that as like an observation. Like, honestly, I don't know what else they could have possibly done. I think Crafton fucked over what striking distance probably wanted this game to be. Like, Glenn Schofield said in an interview that people should not think of this as Dead Space 4, and I agree with him today on that premise, like on that prospect, obviously, right now. But I think the team, like, making this game from the very beginning didn't want to make Dead Space 4. What's funny is that I don't think Crafton knew that. Like, I think Crafton I think they were genuinely convinced that they had Dead Space 4 on their hands. And so when Striking Distance said that, no, the run, like, the general playtime is going to be like 4 to 6 hours. You're in and out of the prison, and then you're moonside, and then there's a mining colony, and then... and then it's just kind of over. Also, there's some plot in between. Like, I think it was meant to be a lot more of like a really well-paced, relatively better-paced cupcake of a game. Short and sweet. And that's never, on its own, literally never a bad thing on its own. The new Amnesia game, The Bunker, it's a absolute favorite of mine. And if I had to pick a favorite Amnesia game, it'd probably be that one. I have more hours in The Bunker alone than I do in all other Amnesia games combined. And, for context, there are people in this world who, glitchless, have speedrun... Oh, nice! That was an accident. Even did a spread eagle and everything. Who, glitchless, have speedrun The Bunker in 10.5 minutes. That's how small the game is that you can do that. But I have like almost 100 hours in that game because of like how well put together the whole thing is. It's replayable, and if I have 2 hours to kill in a day, I'll just play Amnesia because that's a thing I can do. This game could have been that. And genuinely, it could have been something that it held over Dead Space, truly. If it, like that's part of what makes replayability approachable for people, is if, like, how long it would take to replay it. There are lots of open world games that you can play differently. Big, massive RPGs that take hundreds of hours to play. But is a game worth that? There's like a ratio you gotta balance. Like you gotta make sure that it actually gets that across. But anyway, I'm starting to lose time here. It's starting to yell at me. Um, this is gonna take a long time to upload. Um, I'm gonna need a solid palate cleanser after this. By the way, if I were to quit instead of dying, it doesn't even save my high score in the riot mode. So, I think I'm gonna... Ouch. Oh my god.
Resuming patrol.
Do I not have rampage mode ready? Oh shit, there we go.
Alert condition. Red error.
Okay. I'm gonna back out for a sec. So I can think clearly. Anyway. Final transmission. Meh. Nothing really interesting happened. Riot mode, good idea, but not enough to save this game. Also hidden behind the season pass. Ridiculously stupid idea. Um, the higher difficulty modes, hardcore is unfun. It's only fun after you already beat it once and then try it New Game Plus, which is silly. Contagion difficulty is not appealing. I tried it. It's like the concept is the scariest thing about this game. Like the Callisto Protocol is a scary game, but because of how it's made and how it ended up coming across to people more than anything else. Here are the skins. While I have the time here. Snake skin here is the one that I have. Kind of nice. This is what Jacob looks like when he's a prisoner. That's the suit that you saw me running around with. I like the little shimmer. I think it looks kind of nice. Retro Prisoner is what I had during this series that I have on the channel. Radeon is what I had for a bit. Honestly, as a prisoner, Jacob looks like this is just a normal casual fit, just in the 23rd century or something. Outer Way, which came as a, I don't know, came as a season pass thing. It might have been free, I don't know. Watchtower's nice because with this suit on, it's the closest thing we have to like Dead Space with all the blue lights. Kind of like the security suit from Dead Space 2. Prospector's nice, just kind of like Watchtower, but with more orange and yellow. A few texture differences here and there. Stuff matters. Hazmat's the one that looks the most different. It like they make an effort to actually have it be a different like material under the armor. You can see like little bungee, not bungees, but like little ropes, little tie-ings, like these little knots holding the fabric together there, right under his shoulder blades. Cool stuff like that. The prisoner outfit looks like he actually is like some kind of D-class, some dude, some prisoner who they got working hazard waste, which is nice. Gold is kind of bare bones. I don't know how I got this. Might have been from beating hardcore. I don't know. It's also the only skin that really affects Jacob's visor, the gold skin. Very strange why they did that. But um, I need a palette cleanser. I still have Dead Space installed. I also have a new obsession that is not really an obsession anymore because I've burnt myself the fuck out with the game. But there's a very cute game called Goodbye Volcano High. It's absolutely precious to me. But like the music's awesome, but like it's like it's like a guilty pleasure kind of thing. I acknowledge it's kind of bad, but anyway. I got 1 minute left until this thing's just gonna shut me up for me. So that is an hour straight of me rambling about the Callisto Protocol. I hope you enjoyed. Um, I did. I think it was for the best that I do the actual only fun thing in this game, which is the riot mode. Do I regret paying the money? Probably. Anyway, hope you have a happy new year, everybody. I'm gonna hope that this episode actually comes out, or this video comes out right when I need it to. But hope you have a happy new year. Hope everyone is safe. Whoever, I know the 5 of you who still watch my videos are probably safe. So until next time I see you, take care.